What's up, guys? I'm back out here on the John boat and I'm working on the front bench seat. In the last video, I have the basic framing complete. In today's video, I'm going to be working on the in-bench storage. Two main things I wanted to accomplish with the bench seat storage. The first is that it's completely self-contained. I didn't want things to be able to slide around up under the deck or under the floor, things like that. I wanted to make sure I was able to keep everything in there in one central location. The other thing I wanted to make sure was that I can make it as water resistant as possible. It might not be watertight, but I wanted to make sure that if water got onto the floor, it didn't also affect the things that were in the storage. I have about 30 inches in width, about the same in length, and only about 10 inches in height. For this, since I'm kind of building the seat completely from scratch, I was looking for something that I could maybe like drop in that would fit in place and accomplish the same things. So my solution for this problem was to come up with some type of drop-in container that I could put in there to make sure everything was self-contained and off the floor for water protection. I was looking online at different stores to see what Rubbermaid containers they offered. They were all just too tall. So what I decided to do was just get one that fit the dimensions as close as possible, and I'm gonna cut it down to fit and install it in place. Luckily, I was shopping on Lowe's.com and they had the almost perfect container on sale for like 12 bucks. This right here, like I said, on sale, 12 bucks at Lowe's. This is gonna be the absolute perfect drop-in solution for what I'm looking for. I'm not gonna be using the lid. And what I'm gonna do is cut this down in place so I'm able to just sit it right in the middle here and kind of slide it back a little bit, which will also give me some extra storage that I wouldn't normally have because the storage is actually going to extend under the lip here. The container I ended up using is about 27 gallons. If you can see on here, it's about 30 by 20 by 14, which is honestly almost perfect for what I'm looking for. The only thing I need to cut down is about that 4 inches in height or so it's flush with the top of the frame. So I marked out my line, which is about 11 inches in height all around the container. I'm gonna go ahead and drill a small starter hole and then use the jigsaw to cut it around. All right, let's give this a try, see how it goes. It's a little tough because the side of the guard here catches the bottom there just enough. It doesn't sit flat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just take this guard off so it stops getting in my way. All right, well, that came out pretty good. Let's see how it fits. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. One thing I will do while I have it in here is take advantage of the exact height I need it. All right, just gotta get it out now. So the jigsaw worked pretty well getting a rough trim on here. Now that I had it in place and I was able to mark out the exact line that I need, I'm gonna try using this cutting tip on my soldering iron and see if I can just make a nice smooth cut, because when the jigsaw caught a couple times, it cracked it in a few places. So I'm hoping that this will just be a less destructive way of cutting it. So I'm just gonna crank this up to the max temperature, give this a second to heat up. It should work, but it's gonna take a while. Just gotta keep my hands away from it in case this slips. This is extremely dangerous and I don't recommend doing this. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it up now because it seems to be working somewhat. Getting yourself a regular hot knife would probably work a lot better, and they're super cheap. I'll tell you, these fumes just smell delicious too. I also thought about using a blowtorch and like a sheetrock knife. I'm gonna see if I can use a soldering iron to fix this crack. I'm gonna work on the cracks at the end. All right, so about a half hour later, I trimmed off the whole top edge using the hot iron, and I gotta say, it actually worked pretty well. After squeezing the container into place, it was really difficult to get it out, and it actually ended up cracking and breaking off a part of the side. But something I was able to do was I actually just plastic welded it right back on. Now, I don't exactly recommend this method. This took way too long, was way too dangerous, and I'm sure there's better ways. But I had the little cutting tip on hand for the soldering iron, and I just wanted to give it a try. Okay, with all of the cracks repaired and a little bit of extra trimming, this thing is fitting absolutely perfect where I wanted it to. I think what I'm gonna do to make this semi-removable, just in case I need to in the future, is just use my high strength Velcro. That stuff is super strong and there's no reason why it won't just keep this in place. So this is the Velcro that I use. I bought this a couple years ago and it has lasted forever. It is industrial strength and it means it. It says it holds up to 10 pounds. I'd say they're probably being modest. This is a extremely strong Velcro. It is water resistant, so the adhesive is not water-based, so that way in case it gets wet, it's still gonna stay there and be just as strong. I've used this to mount batteries. I've used this to mount flooring in bench seats and stuff like that. So I'm really, really happy with this. I can highly, highly recommend it. You really don't need much to keep something from just sliding around. I have both sides that I need. All right, so with this cut, go ahead and join it together. And then now it's double-sided adhesive, so there's gonna be adhesive on both sides. One thing I'm gonna do real quick is just wipe the underside of the floor with some acetone to make sure this makes a really good connection. Okay, acetone. I guess I got some overspray. Okay, so with that cleaned up, doesn't really matter what side you put down. Oh, so sticky, okay? This kind of right in the middle here. There, looks good. Okay, so with the Velcro in place, you can kind of see how this is gonna look. So you're only gonna see the inside of the container itself. The actual cutout for the latch is gonna go like right on the inside of it. So this is all gonna be nice and hidden. But yeah, so that's pretty much the interior container. This is what's gonna hold this in place. It is now Velcroed in, so it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna slide anywhere, but if I need to, I could pull on it hard enough to take it out. So at this point, I'm really happy with how the bench sheet storage is looking. So now I can move on to the next section that I wanted to work on before I start adding all of the plywood facing on everything. Coming up next, we're gonna be doing the rod locker down the side, get the framing for that in place. And I'm waiting on a delivery. Once that comes in, I'll be able to start cutting and sealing the plywood and then get everything covered. With my idea for sealing the plywood, it's gonna make doing the EVA foam flooring really, really easy. So I'm really excited about that. I have decided that I'm gonna go with foam for the flooring, not carpet this time. So I'm excited to see how that works out. All right, well, if you guys found this helpful or you just enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and let me know. If you want to follow along with the John boat build and see how everything turns out, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is extremely dangerous and I don't recommend doing this.